out that the legislature requires strong capacity and robust knowledge to pilot and stabilize its bureaucratic system. And as a mass based public institution and the closest to the people, the legislature is undoubtedly the first point of call in the citizen inspired public policy development intervention matrix. And bearing in mind that the legislature is not only very important towards the institutionalization of democracy and good governance, but is indeed the bedrock of any contemporary democracy. One of the reasons for Ben Kalu's mandate, the weekly engagement of Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu with the good people of Abia State, especially Bende Federal Constituency. Ben Kalu's mandate is on Flow 94.9 FM, both on the terrestrial and online platforms, and also on Vision Africa 104.1 FM Umuahia, Rail 99.9 FM Abba, Family Love 99.9 FM Umuahia, and ABN Online Radio and TV. You're welcome. My name is Michael Oni. Our regular guest, Representative Benjamin Okezie Kalu, an astute lawyer and businessman par excellence, is joining us virtually today. Glad to have you join us, and welcome to Ben Kalu's mandate. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So good morning, Mike, and thank you, people of Bende Federal Constituency, for tuning in, and Abia people who love you, and Nigerians. It's always an interesting time to interact once in a while.
All right.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Let's begin from your activities at the National Assembly. Last week, the National Assembly passed the much-anticipated Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 after both the Senate and the House of Representatives deliberated extensively on the report of the Conference Committee on the bill. In the House of Reps, it was laid and adopted, concluding our own side of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. But I will be asking you, when will the bill be transmitted to the President for assent? And we would like to have some details from the final bill as agreed by both chambers of the National Assembly.
Yeah, thank you very much. On the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, the expected procedures for the passage of a piece of legislation has been fulfilled by both chambers. And that includes the conference committee set up to harmonize the divergent views of the two chambers, initially on clause 52 for the House of Reps and 53 for the Senate, as well as clause 87 that borders on electronic transmission of results, as well as direct primaries. It was not a difficult one when the conference committee met, because in the wisdom of the Senate, they understood that that was what the people wanted. The people wanted electronic transmission without any precondition. So they agreed that, and the people wanted direct primaries because of the benefits of direct primaries to strengthening our democracy, and they also concurred. So it was laid before the Senate and considered and adopted, and they passed the bill. The same day it was laid and considered, adopted, and passed, which means that any moment from now, Mr. President will be assenting to it, because our law says this transmission must take place within 7 days that it gets to the clerk of the National Assembly. I am sure it has been communicated by both chambers to the clerk of the National Assembly. Mr. President was overseas. I'm not sure if he's back now. I'm sure it will be one of the first things Mr. President will look at when he's back. And many have asked this question as to what are the benefits of these almighty direct primaries? As you all know, I, for one, I was a product of direct primaries, where we had been the people lining up against photographs. It was videoed, it was photographed for record purposes. And when it was needed in Abuja, when there was a dispute as to whether or not we had primaries, those pictures and those live videos, they became evidential in convincing even a blind man that primaries took place and people queued to decide who they wanted. The person they wanted was my humble self. So it was, glaring evidence to everybody who wanted to make that decision. Which means that the power was given to the people and the people use it the way they wanted to elect a person that will represent their interest. Let me say this. Many need to understand that the purpose of this particular clause 87 and why we are insisting on it is because we want to decentralize the selection process of candidates in various parties. We also want to break the hegemony that has captured the nomination of candidates in the various parties, thereby opening it up for the people to take the center stage, not a handful of individuals. We want to, as well, solve the problem that has hindered the creation of Not Too Young to Run Act, which was supposed to encourage an influx of competent young men and women into governance. That act will remain moribund if other ancillary legislations are not strengthened, like the Electoral Act that we are working on now. Therefore, we are looking at increasing the priority, the probability of participation of young ones and women in what we are doing. We are looking at a situation that will foster the development of the political parties to the extent that they will be compelled to keep an updated, verifiable membership register that will be accessible not only to a few, but to all the members of the party, especially the aspirants who are going into a transparent electoral process to emerge as candidates of the party. We are also looking at how do we increase the democratic quotient of our political processes. Where we desire to become one that competes within the space of advanced democratic climes. It doesn't come by just talking it. It comes by walking it. And one of the ways to draw us closer, even though not so completely, is through this piece of legislation. So the young ones who compete within the arena without recourse to godfatherism, no more sitting on the fence because they don't have money, they are not big money bags. It will no longer be about money, it will be about the people. After all, the definition of democracy that has been accepted globally is that it is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, in a definition that has governance only once and people mentioned 3 times shows that the dominating element of democracy is the people. How much of the people has been involved in the selection of those who lead them? Less, I must say. Less. Minimal, I must say. Minimal. Because they are not, brought into the center stage. By this legislation, the people elements which appear 3 times in that definition will occupy the center stage and begin to make decisions that will impact on our desire to have efficient, effective, governance, the good governance that we've been asking for. We get it wrong. We start getting wrong from how we select the candidate of the parties, because you are limited once the candidate is selected. You cannot import the almighty, well-refined, capacity-based individual to come and occupy his space, because you have met at the primary level. So we want to start getting it right from the primary level. So that is the benefit that Nigerians stand to get by this piece of legislation.
I'm still going to take you on this one. You highlighted it that it is of public interest, the clause that had direct primaries for aspirants to all elective positions in all the political parties. There are indications that governors, or maybe some governors, are out to resist the direct primary method. I'm sure you've read it in the news and the newspapers, and they said to be mounting pressure on the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to stop the president from signing the bill into law. And according to the governors, the retention of direct primary amounted to the usurpation of the function of political parties, and also conflicting the interest of progressives governors forum who met in Abuja, expressing their displeasure. I don't know what will be your reaction to this, because it's already taken a political dimension along party lines now.
Thank you, Mike. Very good question that you asked. In addressing this question, it is important to note that there is a reason for the existence of the doctrine of separation of powers, which is set as one of the strategic instruments, as one of the pillars of democracy. What the doctrine does is to give you your space of operation. What it does is to give you your parameters of your mandate. It has given to the judges to use the courts to interpret and bridge the gaps in our system through justice and equity. It has given the executives the power to execute laws made by the parliament, including the Appropriation Act. That is why they can execute social infrastructures to be able to meet the needs of the people. The question becomes, what tool is in the hands of the legislature in contributing to national development, nation building, in bridging the gap that exists? I'm sure you are aware that the legislature remains the fulcrum of our democracy, the backbone, the core pillar upon which our democracy rests. In its absence, the executive and the judiciary cooperate in another type of government. But in the presence of legislature, things must be done in a different way. And the mandate so mentioned for the legislature is to use legislative instruments, legislative interventions to bridge the gaps that was not bridged by social infrastructure or the judiciary. And we do that by making laws, by framing, by putting together legal framework that will guide establishments of government or establishment that will work with government. or establishment that will help in national development, or establishment that will advance our democracy. It's not the other way around. There is no issue of usurpation. We are operating within the mandate of the Constitution for our arm of government. The political parties cannot make law for the Federal Republic of Nigeria or the legislature. But the legislature can make laws that will be looked at by the unbiased umpire who monitors and controls the political parties' activities by setting down outlines or guidelines. This is what we are doing with piece of legislation. When you talk about usurpation, where did indirect primaries come from? Who made it part of the system? It's the law. The law before now has seen the usage of direct or indirect. And we have seen also as a people, through the public hearings that we have heard severally, that the people of Nigeria are not longer interested in indirect primaries, based on our consultations and the presentations made before the House, and the acceptance of the 360 federal constituencies and their representatives. We ask for the word indirect or indirect to be deleted, leaving only direct. That is why we are here.
Okay.
So there is no contest between the governors and the legislature. No. The governors are Democrats. If they are not Democrats, they will not be elected, irrespective of their party, to occupy the positions they occupy.
All right.
There is no. But this will strengthen our democracy. This will strengthen our democracy.
We've really discussed so much about this, and just because you are the official spokesperson of the House, and whatever you say here means it is the official statement from the House, the position of the House. But one would be asking, the lawmakers, did they put in place the practicability of this before that decision was made, and now it's about becoming law? Practicability in the sense that it might place a huge burden on the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure its practicability, monitoring primaries of all the political parties, and it may be a very huge burden on them. I hope this was also considered before it was passed into law by the House.
When you say, I want to advance my career, it will take you a lot. You have to feed that career for it to advance. When you say, my child is having a stunted growth, you need your child to grow up. You need to feed him better, because a kwashiorkor child, a child that is infected with what is known as malnutrition, that we popularly call kwashiorkor, does not grow. If you want to feed your democracy to get to the next level, it will cost you money. The question becomes, do we sacrifice the core ethos of democracy on the altar of cost, which is the lesser evil? Democracy is not cheap. If you want to run a cheap administration on how to rule the people, it will be government of one man, by one man, and for the people. But if you want to run an administration that will be all embracing of the views of the people, it will cost you money, and that is why democracy preaches 3 arms of government: to create room for separation of powers and checks and balances. It is an expensive system, but it is worth it because of the values it creates for nation building, national development. So, it is not in doubt that to conduct direct primaries, it will cost more. but it is not expensive. Not everything that is costly is expensive. It is expensive when the what, when the value cannot be weighed on a scale and score better than the cost. Yes, it's costly, but it's not expensive. So I am encouraging Nigerians to embrace these,
Okay.
which at the end of the day may not be as expensive as what indirect primary has brought on us. A situation whereby the delegates, 28 people, will sit down and give you their prize. Whether you are good or not, they don't care. Whether you have something to offer to their people after election, they don't care. All they want is that we need 1 billion or we want 500 million for us to vote for you to go and represent us in our primaries. Is that what democracy preaches? But now you return it to the people who will say, granted that Barack Obama is not the richest man in America, he had something to offer the people of America. Let's raise money, support him, let's vote for him. That is the kind of democracy we are now, pushing our own to become, where you will scout for the right energies around your various localities, the right energies that will do the right needs assessment and have the right energy to meet those needs with solutions, and begin to harvest them and say, my brother, come, your people want you to lead them. You are going to see communities reaching out for their sons and daughters in diaspora and bringing them back home to come and add value to what we need done. Before now, those professionals, they are afraid of coming in because they don't have the kind of money that politicians throw around. But now, competent will speak, capacity will speak beyond pocket.
All right. If you just joined us, we've been speaking with the representative representing Bender Federal Constituency and the Chairman Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Dublin, as the official spokesperson of the 9th House of Representatives, Representative Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, on Ben Kalu's mandate, his weekly engagement with the good people of Abia State, especially Bender Federal Constituency. We take a break now. When we return, we're going to talk about some other issues from the budget proposals presently under works at the House of Representatives, and also some other issues concerning his activities at the House. Stay tuned.
Is Benjamin Okezie-Kalu, representing the good people of Bender Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the hallowed chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent a constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bender and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Ozita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Ben Kalu's mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bender Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Ben Kalu's mandate airs on Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real 99.1 FM every Tuesday by 10:30 a.m. Ben Kalu's mandate, gains of quality representation.
And the positive note is that this budget was presented quite early to enable us, the legislature, sufficient time to conclude the approval before the end of the year and before the new year starts, so that we can also push him into the new calendar back to back.
All right.
But we need to do something. I must say something here. Be patient. I must say something. We need to do something in our constitution to create room for early budget presentation and approval. It's lacking in our constitution. It's one of the things we're going to do, constitutional amendment. One of the positive notes is that the particular estimates recognize the deep revenue challenges facing the federal government and the attempt to address them strategically using some revenue growth initiative. And that includes reviewing of sectors eligible for pioneer tax holiday incentive, especially under the Industrial Development Income Tax Relief Act. And also by mentioning the cost of tax waivers, concessions, and evaluating their policy effectiveness to know whether they should be there or they should not be there. Like I said, there is a whole lot to discuss on this. Time will not allow us. Wherever we stop, maybe next
week we continue.
We'll continue from there. But it's important to note. It's important to note that revenue enhancement through the performance management framework of these government-owned enterprises, including possible sanctions for defaulting on targets, tighter expenditure control, including enforcing the Financial Act of 2020 that limits the government-owned enterprises cost-to-revenue ratio of 50% is what we are looking at. So that's one of the benefits of this budget.
All right.
And also the inclusion of the revenue plan of 63 government-owned enterprises into the 2022 estimate. This will, help to improve on the comprehensiveness and the transparency of the overall revenue and expenditure plan. And then finally, 34.9% of aggregate revenue is expected from oil-related sources, while 65.1% is to be earned from non-oil sources. This implies a step towards diversification of revenue sources away from oil, which is very good. And Aba people will benefit from that, especially Abia people. I was at the trade fair yesterday and I saw how income is coming from non-oil sector, which needs to be encouraged. I said finally before, but let me say this as finally, because I will talk on the challenges next week. The target over the medium term of growing revenue to GDP ratio from 8% currently to 15% by 2025 is a positive outlook. That the GDP should grow from 8% to 15%. That's extra 7%.
Okay. By
2025. The target of the budget is good. Let's leave the challenges and the concerns for next week. We'll discuss that.
All right.
This program's supposed to be informative. When people tune in, they should have something they take home. So that is why I took my time to do that.
All right. So last week, you received an award, the prestigious Professor Lovett Lawson Award of Recognition for Outstanding Legislative Contribution towards Improved Tuberculosis Policy and Funding. This is a global recognition and a significant feather to your heart. So we'll be asking, how does this encourage you in your work, the one you do, especially regarding this scourge of tuberculosis?
When I arrived at the National Assembly, I took my areas of interest. One of them happened to be health. I know we have tuberculosis and leprosy center in Zuakole, main axis of my federal constituency, and I have seen them suffer. So it's one of the things that is. And proper funding, or to end tuberculosis. Nigeria and Global TV Caucus. I never knew they were watching. And they decided, I was surprised to get a letter that I have been nominated to receive this award. And I was glad when I got that letter. It means that we are pressing the right buttons in our advocacy for some of these things. And most time politicians will write some things when you read it on social media. You just laugh. Some of them will say, "You go to pay for award." All these politicians, when you elect them, they'll pay for what is award? Does it add food to my table? It does. It's just a recognition, and you cannot pay World Bank, you cannot pay WHO, you cannot pay USAID. They have money. They bring their money here. They actually pay those who are working for them. So for them to recognize a son of Bende, representative of Bende and Abia, for them to recognize me, it means that we are doing something good and we are representing our people in everywhere we find ourselves. So that credit goes to those people who selected me from primaries, who gave me a chance from primaries, to those people who voted for me, irrespective of the party they belong to. Because I know it was not only APC that voted me. I can say that anywhere, that ABGA voted for me, PDP voted for me, SDP voted for me, APC voted for me. You see why I find it easy to relate with all of them. So this award belongs to all of you. And God will bless you for taking the right decision. We'll keep pushing and keep projecting the name of Bende. Thank you.
Talking about relating with everyone, last week you exhibited some of the messages you've always preached on this platform. Politics without rancor or bitterness, which is a sure way to progressive leadership and productivity. And you received one of your constituents whom you represent and an opponent in the 2019 general elections, accompanied, that's a member of the ruling party in the state, accompanied by another representative, Obina Chidoka, both of the PDP. A visit which later turned controversial after the leaked chart posted in a WhatsApp group. I'm sure you have an idea of what I'm talking about. We followed it also on social media. I'm sure you would like to share your thoughts on this, especially when the visit was meant for peace, looking at what has transpired between yourself and these opponents.
Okay, when you submit yourself to be groomed, when you submit yourself to be mentored, it comes with a lot of benefits. I can tell you that I learned from Mojikalo. I learned from TRG. Dr. Mojikalo and Dr. TRG, who are members of the Senate today, I learned from them. And he rubs off on me, and the man who is there now as governor as well. We compare notes from time to time. I also learn from him. He makes the purpose of grooming and mentorship is that he makes you thorough. When I came in 2001, Dr. Jikalo was the governor. I was representing the party outside the country. I was one of those in PDP that was sent outside the country to open up what they call the diaspora chapters. I joined PDP before most of the people who are in PDP today, and I was occupying, I was leading the country as the chapter chairman. So when President Obasanjo was visiting, after shaking hands with the ambassador, Tunji Olagunju, I was the next person as his party leader in diaspora. So when I was coming back to run for election for the 2023 election, I came back December of 2021. And in 2022, I met the governor of the state, Dr. Jikalo, who was given a note from the national headquarters introducing me, by no means a person, the deputy national chairman, Alhaji Shau Oyedekon. When I met him, he watched me for some time. He said, "You are popular, you are educated, people like you, you are intelligent, but you will not go." I said, "Why?" He said, "I need to mentor you." He said, "I need to groom you." I had money. I was paying the bills of Bende Forum when we met that time. Ask anybody who was around there. I was throwing me around. I was young. So I wanted it immediately. Dr. Chikalo said, no. It is not the turn of Ikwishi to go now. You have to wait. It will take you 8 years until Omona will finish before you have to watch you closely and mentor you. I had wanted to run away from my neck. But when I thought about it, I fought him. I disagreed with him. I did all those. Later on, he brought me close and I started learning how to be patient, how to be courteous, how to lead, how to relate with people. And that was not without the former governor. Because when I was the local government chairman in Bende, the former governor was the chief of staff and was the one who engages us from time to time. Why am I mentioning this? From the local government, I went to the state. From the state, I'm in the federal now. Why am I mentioning it? In the process of these 17 years of following those that knew better than me, certain mantle from their shoulders fell on my shoulders. And that is why emotional intelligence is one of the key things I need in this leadership role. And if you don't have this kind of mentorship, the way you handle things, they are different. For example, if I was the one who took my opponent to court in the exercise of my right tribunal, and he came to you and he said, please, my brother, let's not go again and waste money in our appeal. And the man tells me, please, let's not waste money. And I tell the man, you know what? I like the way you have handled this process over this time. You've not been talking bad about me in the public. This was what Chima told me. He commended me after the tribunal that he liked the way I've behaved and showed maturity. I said, I do it because I'm your big brother. I'm your big brother. As far back as 2007 or so, you were coming to me for advice in the middle of the night. You saw me as a role model as far back as 2007 and 2008. So how can I now, because of politics, begin to shred you into pieces in the public? I can't. You're a true son of Bende. Now, but the reverse is the case here. We went to appeal. We finished appeal. Someone was sponsored, which we have all the evidence, by him. That is the fact. We have the evidence. And we dragged me to court, insulted my father, insulted my mother, paid a journalist to write rubbish about me, how all those things after doing it. If we switch position, if I was going to see that man, I would call him up and said, I would like to have a meeting with you. I need an appointment. And when I go to this man's office, I will mention why I came. My brother, let the past be past, let's move forward. And when I'm going, I will not go and ask the aid of my friend I came to see to use my camera, put the camera on. You see, why I'm mentioning this is that I was shocked after receiving my brother warmly, like I received every person from the constituency, took photograph with him, even though he did not discuss anything that has happened before. He did not say I came for peace. He did not say this is my mission. All he asked me was for photograph. And I gave it to him because I was also rushing for the award you just mentioned. It was on the same day of the award. So when the door was open, we saw somebody carrying phone. And he was asking them to snap. At the point I said, no, if you want photograph, he said, attending them. I saw releases on the social media. And my brother, I was touched. The language of that particular publication. He put his hand on my shoulders and I granted him. He's my brother. For goodness sake, he's my brother. I did not even apply the protocol of COVID to say, no, let's not shake hands. Let's use our elbow. I forgot protocol because it's my brother. He said he want to put his hand on my shoulder. I said, go ahead. Not knowing that those pictures were going to be used to write something that actually despicable. You know, I'm on top, I'm the winner, I'm the movie player, director, I decide when I play again. So it was all about movie. I felt, whoa, it ought not to be like this. But are we going to start shredding him in public? No, I won't do that. I need to show some level of maturity because I am leading him. I'm his representative. He's under my leadership. Cannot descend into the same arena and do the same thing that just happened. And I'm hearing some people saying that video was not made by him. We have cameras in this office. Once you walk into our office from the company, if they want the public to know, we say, but that is going too petty. We will not do that. For me, Chima is my brother, and I don't want anybody to go fighting with him. But that action was not actually right. It was not right to visit somebody. Next minute, the picture and the video of my office was on the social media. And you remember my office was attacked not too long ago. So the security of my office is actually being watched. To now see my office on social media without my permission, it wasn't good. But what can we do? It's one of the things you see in politics. Do I hold it against him? No.
All right, we need to get reactions on the phone lines
I will
right
keep
now.
setting the good example and for the people to follow.
All right, we need to get reactions on the phone lines.
All right.
For Bender people, it is time to speak with your representative, and he's ready to take your opinion and your questions. 0808 182 6949 0811 605 2949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Glad to have you join us. What's your name?
Good morning, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, my honorable.
Oh, go on. He's listening.
Yeah, my name is Chief Ndubisi.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I am so much impressed with your pardoning Ezala. It's a mark of good and well-groomed leader. May God bless you there. And I confirm to Mike, who you just told now, that I met you first time in 2002 when I was a research plan and strategy officer at PDP Presidential Campaign Headquarters in Legacy House, Abuja. You led the diaspora PDP to visit our office, and I saw in you a great politician. And since that 2002 date, I think I have benefited from your magnanimity. Please don't get deterred. Don't allow detractors to spoil your good qualities. You are going far in Bender. We will all support you.
All right, Chief.
I'm not going to talk about the battles because you didn't mention it here, but there is progress going on there now.
All right,
so
great. Fantastic that you've confirmed that. Hello, welcome. Yes,
I didn't hear him.
He confirmed that there is progress on Umpa Road.
I didn't hear him. You may have to summarize later.
Yes. Hello, welcome.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, Michael Oni.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Honorable Benjamin.
Go on. He can hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your good, your quality representation, because you are representing the federal constituency and the area at large. You are representing us well. Even though I'm not from your constituency, but I'm from the federal constituency. Honorable, please, sir. On this new electoral act amendment, I have one reservation. If some governors, as alleged, or some political juggernauts in the country is lobbying Malami, the chief law officer of the Federation, in order to convince Mr. President not to sign it when it's finally sent to him for an assent. If they finally convince Malami, or Malami convinces Mr. President not to do that, because I know that Professor Yemi Osibanjo is there, Malami cannot do otherwise. But if eventually they did it, please, I'm a member of APC. I want you people to rise up to the occasion. If Mr. President sends anything to National Assembly, you people should retaliate. It's not a fight, but let the right thing be done. We need free and fair election in Nigeria, and people like us so that we participate. Not three people going to where they will give them millions. Tomorrow they will say, this candidate is not viable enough, in order to.
The network is bad.
All right. Let's get others on the line. Hello, welcome. Yes, you're live on radio. Welcome.
My name is Stanley Daniel from Itumbuzo, Bende, LOGA.
All right.
I want to use my language, Igbo, and speak to my honorable. Sir, good morning. Honorable, sir, good morning. I thank you, Nekelegi Okacha, Ihine Mena Ndiwo, Itumbuzo. So, akwụkwọ ileke primary schools ụzọ ị na-arụrụ anyị ụlọ skuul ị na-arụrụ anyị so nji ohere a na-asị ụjọ atụla gị Chineke ndị Itumbu ụzọ nọnyere gị ị ga na-aga na-abata onwe ihe ga-eme gị n'aha Jizọs. Amen. Thank you.
All right, thank you. He can hear you. Hello, welcome.
Michael, good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to my representative. My name is Wakochi Debere.
Yes, go on, please.
I really do not have much to say than to tell my representative that indeed, he is a very nice man and also a good man, independent. He's a true son of his father and a true son of independence. I personally appreciate him for the kind of synergy between him and the state government, making sure that the state in general is what to.
All right. Network will not allow us to continue that conversation with you. Okay, I will allow him to respond to your calls and messages now. Nice day, Honorable. I love the type of politics that you are showing to our people here in Bender. Continue with your good works. A leader for now, no matter any political party, anyone may represent you. You are a leader representing the good people of Bender Federal Constituency. More is expected from you, sir. Okay. Jonah Godwin Ndukwe, aka across the border from Bender. All right, you can respond to the messages and the calls. Please. Okay.
Hello, Mike.
Yes, can you hear me now?
I didn't. Yeah, Mike. I didn't get the whole of them. I think the network was a bit troublesome when we are calling in. But I have the progress made there. This is good. We are pushing. They had a meeting there yesterday, project site meeting from Abuja, and they called me and I sent my people. Today, I think the meeting is happening today. About now, actually, they are having a meeting there to do analysis. I will join to see what is going on there. Okay. Like I promised, I will come middle of this month to come and see what is happening. That was my promise when I went last time, so I'll be there to make sure they are doing what we have agreed to do. On the electoral act, somebody called and was asking about the electoral act, and whether or not if the president doesn't assent, what are we going to do?
Yes.
Yeah, that is, he's asking about whether we can veto the president. We've not gotten to that level. The Constitution also made it clear that there is power for the legislative to veto the president where need arises. But I don't think we're going to get to that position. If we do, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Somebody called from Itumbuzo, but he was not clear. I didn't get anything he said, but I heard he was blessing me or something.
Yeah.
I pray that whatever you bless me, let God bless you back for acknowledging the work we are doing. Somebody called from said it's Wakwechi Debere.
Yes.
To appreciate the work we're doing. I also appreciate them. I don't know if I missed anything, Mike.
No, you
do
didn't.
Let me know so that
you didn't. And I will still send a link of the conversation to you so that you can follow up on others that also called on the program.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That'll be good.
Thank you very much for
my regards to everyone. Yeah.
Thank you very much for speaking to us this hour on Ben Carlos Mandate. We do appreciate you.
Thank you very much. And I look forward to next week. I might even be in the studio live. But let's see how it goes.
All right. Thank you. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Many thanks to you also for listening. The program returns next week. My name is Michael Oni.
Is Benjamin Okeze Carlo, representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency. I am from Abia State. Arise.
From the hallowed chambers, his voice resonates crystal clear.
You say you shared money recently, and I represent the constituency, and there are 360 of us, and all of them are saying we are not feeling the impact.
He's the unmistaken voice of Undi Bende and the image maker of the House of Representatives.
Swept away houses and roads in communities like Mpa, Umimenyi, Ozita, and Bende. Mr. Speaker,
he's a committed, courageous, articulate, and deeply impassioned lawmaker with the plight of his constituents.
Joining me now on the political segment is Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who's the spokesman of the House of Representatives.
Ben Kalu's mandate gives you first-hand information on the activities of the member representing the good people of Bende Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, as well as his position on national issues. Ben Kalu's mandate airs on Flow 94.9 FM, Vision Africa 104.1 FM, and Real 99.1 FM every Tuesday by 10:30 a.m. Ben Kalu's mandate, gains of quality representation.